and all that. We've all been doing this long enough as guides. I can pretty much tell you, you got taught today from a lot of really good guys, and the number one rule out of any of this stuff, and I know he's doing it after I'm done, is cast netting. Regardless of what you're doing, if you learn how to catch bait, you're going to be a better fisherman. It doesn't matter if you're inshore trout fishing, if you're going to the bait shop and buying shrimp, you're so far behind where you need to be doing. Now don't get me wrong, there's times of the year that's just what we do. I run probably 10 out of 200 trips a year that I stop off and I get pinfish or I get shrimp before I go. And those are usually my days that it's 37 degrees, it's blowing 25, and we just had a front come through, and I just need some type of insurance policy on bait. Kind of might be tough for me today. When your friends start referring to you as the master baiter, bait whore, those type terms, you're starting to do good. And as guides, and Travis will tell you, like, we make a living every day getting up, going and throwing a cast net, either with our customers or like some I have a lot of regular, 90% of my customers fish with me once or twice a month throughout the entire year, and it's hard to get on my schedule. And a lot of those guys, that's all part of, that's time you're not charged for. My charter starts when I'm done catching bait, and now it's either a 4, 6, or 8 hour trip after that, and I start the clock pretty much when I'm done catching bait and the boat's cleaned up, ready to go. So either you can ride with me, and that's just more bonus time you get. We talk, most of my true close friends in life are actually charter customers of mine, because they're guys who spend 8 hours on a boat with somebody, you got similar interests, and they're guys that are like, it's way easier for me to call you once a month, you know, and go out and catch fish every time I go than for me to own my own boat, blah, blah, blah. I have a custom built Schaefer tower boat kind of deal, so I have a pretty nice boat that can do pretty much anything I ask it to do in Tampa Bay. But if anything I can stress to you guys, the cast net side of stuff, catching bait is the only way to learn how to fish. We've got our fish so conditioned, when we pull into a snook spot and we power pull down, first thing we do is dip in there, get a scoop, squeeze them, put them in the vat, launch them, and watch the show kind of deal. You come behind me with artificials and shrimp, I can tell you how many fish you're going to catch. I'm going to outfish you 10 to 1 because that's just how we have our fish conditioned. Our snook in Tampa Bay, our redfish in Tampa Bay, stuff like that are conditioned to eat chum. That's just how they do it. I mean, it's like I pull in and I know that tide's right. As soon as I light them off with chum, boom, we're going to pull 10, you know, whatever, 8, 10, 15 fish out of it. And we're going to gut up, power pull up, let's move, let's haul ass to the next spot and keep doing. That's what I do as a guide. My whole thing, I work from the time you get on my boat until the time I get off, and my goal is for you to catch fish the entire time. If I catch 60 snook in a day, cool, that's a pretty good day, kind of deal. I mean, and that's just, it's funny because we do that as guides. It's like, you talk to people when they fish on their own or they haven't done this stuff before, and they're like, you guys I catch 60 snook a day, every day, March through June, kind of deal. I mean, that's just what it is. It's not bragging, it's not whatever, but it's just that's how our fish are conditioned. I know what tides to hit what spots, and as soon as that bite's done, I leave, kind of deal. I don't want to sit there and keep fishing fish that are either already ate, decided they're not going to eat, or they're so sore mouthed from me catching them the last 7 days in a row, kind of deal, that they're just starting to like, okay, hey, yeah, we're done. You know, in some spots I do, I'll pull in, we might catch 4 or 5, and I'm out of there. You know, if I'm there to catch 1 or 2, I'm in the wrong spot. I typically, as a guide, I want to sit one place for 2 hours and catch fish like this, you know, doubles and triples and stuff like that. And then when that bite peters out on me, then that's okay. Where else can I hit? Working my way back to have you know, back at a time so I can either pick up at my next trip or whatever. But that all filters into the kingfish stuff because I was an inshore fisherman long before I was ever an offshore fisherman. And like I said, it comes back to that bait side of stuff. When you can consistently black out your live well, and that's a term you'll hear us use, and I'll be like, what are you talking about blacking out? That means when I look down my live, I can't see the bottom, kind of deal. It's just all bait on top of bait and bait. You know, our boats, most of the Schaefers and some of the other bay boat styles, we have like the bigger oval live wells, you know, that are behind our console. Mine's 65 gallons. I can hold about 3,000 pilchards in my live well, kind of deal, without killing them. I've got 2 2,100 gallon per hour pumps, and I'm running both of them, especially in the summertime, kind of thing. And that's like I try to tell people, like, how do I fish like you guys, and how do I have successful days every day, day in, day out? Truly, the key to it is when you can get bait, and you can be done with bait by 8 o'clock in the morning, because that's typically the time I'm trying to be done with bait, because that's either the time we're picking up customers or I just need to get on with the day. I can't be catching bait for 4 hours, kind of thing. And then it's just the size of bait. You know, if marker bait, we're all catching bait on the markers, and that's that perfect snook, trout, redfish bait like that kind of deal. And I'm going kingfishing today. I need bigger bait. I might have to run to the bridge to go catch bigger bait, which isn't going to really matter to me anyways, because I'm going that way. I'm going offshore anyways. And what I'm going to do today, primarily on the kingfish side of it, is talk about what I call inshore or near shore kingfishing. I'm talking stuff 4 miles off St. Pete Beach kind of deal, and the ship channel itself. If you learn those, that's all the kingfishing stuff you need to do. I mean, it's, you know, if you're starting to do the whole, we're trolling live mullet, live full-blown ladyfish, big blue runners, that's, now we're getting into tournament fishing, and we're catching 6-7 fish in the course of a day versus 50 kind of thing. We call them snake kingfish, you know, which kind of anything, we're kind of referring to any kingfish over, you know, under like 15 pounds kind of deal as a snake. Nothing we even want remotely in kingfish. We don't even want to waste our bait on them in a tournament kind of thing. But if you're trying to eat fish and you're going to smoke them or you're doing stuff, those are the fish you want to keep. The big 35, 40 pound kingfish, they eat like crap. I mean, they truly do. I mean, the kingfishing's really doing it for this. It's like tarpon fishing. You do it for the sport, not necessarily for the meat quality or stuff that you're getting out of it. But this is my standard inshore snook rod. I have 8 of these on my boat every single day. It's an 8-foot St. Croix Avid with a 4,000 pin clash with 20-pound main power pro on it. I run probably 4 or 5 feet of 30-pound mono. Same thing. The only thing I'm doing different when I'm going kingfishing is I'm changing my hooks. I'm taking my circle hooks off and I'm putting a long shank, double hooked rig like that on mono with a little loop knot on it. And I'm fishing big pilchards or big threadfin herring kind of thing. That's what I'm going kingfishing with. That's it.
Which hook do you put the bait on?
The bottom one, kind of deal. And basically, the only thing you're doing there is you're kind of creating your own leader. You're not in this application. It's sometimes they will get stuck on that top hook, but you're really just trying to create so when he comes up behind it and he's slashing at it, he doesn't cut that mono. The same thing. If you're fishing wire on this style of fishing, I'm going to catch 10 fish to your one kind of thing by fishing mono. Now I'm going to lose 4 or 5 fish, kind of deal, throughout the course of the day. But I'm going to catch all the kingfish I want by staying away from wire. Everybody's like, oh, you need to, you got to have wire. You don't have wire. You don't need a wire if you're fishing, like I said, a double shanked hook. And all you do basically to put those two together is it's pretty simple.
Now you're using mono because of the stretch, right?
No, I'm using mono just because they don't see it, kind of thing. It's just fluorocarbon mono. They see that wire.
No, I'm talking about instead of fluorocarbon, you said mono instead of.
I'm just meaning monofilament and not
okay.
wire. Fluorocarbon or regular monofilament. I use fluorocarbon for everything. So fluorocarbon now in technology, there's no such thing to me as regular mono. It's only fluorocarbon or braid is all I do. So the only time I ever use mono, as far as true just monofilament, non-fluorocarbon, is when we're in Boca Grande and we're jig fishing down there. We actually use mono, not braid, because you need the stretch. You're messing around with 150, 180 pound fish that you need that stretch as he's jumping and all that. But basically, these two hooks, just like what we're looking at. What you do is kind of get one, lay it on top of the other one through the eye, turn it sideways, get your pair of pliers, and just push down with the bottom of your plier on that straight side and the top of your plier on that curved side, and it'll push those two together. And that's it. That's how you connect those two. Hooks, and hooks. You're going to go through a lot of hooks. I mean, kingfishing, mackerel fishing, especially, and I'm going to give you spots. I'm not one of those. I mean, the parking lot, the St. Pete Beach Reef, the what we call blind pass drop, which is literally right off blind pass kind of deal. And there's that. It goes from like 12, 13 feet off the beach, and it shears off to like 26, 27 feet. And I mean, it's literally 300 yards off the beach kind of deal. Those are even some of your kingfish tournaments, some of the King of the Beach and stuff like that, are won off of some of those spots. There's always bigger fish in there, but primarily it's a quantity, kind of spot versus quality. But you're gonna go. I mean, I might go through 3 or 4 bags of these hooks in one charter, kind of thing, because the Spanish mackerel get in there really thick, and you're gonna be catching a lot of Spanish mackerel. You're gonna be catching kingfish mixed in with them. You'll get bonita. You'll get other stuff in there. But it all starts with just getting there, and just like I said, I do it just like I'm inshore fishing. I start chumming it, and I just bring them to me, kind of thing. Every 10, 15 minutes, I get, I'll squeeze a net full of pilchards, launch them out there with my bat, and go to town. Most of those spots, it's pretty easy because, I tell people, you've got that magic like 72 to 74 degree water temperature. That's a kingfish's magic numbers. And it doesn't matter. Like right now, they're in the Keys. There's a huge tournament that I was supposed to be at this weekend that I couldn't make in the Keys right now because that's where all of our kingfish are. They migrate south in the wintertime and they come back up our side here in the spring again. So our next kingfish bite will be like end of April, early part of May. It's usually right before I usually leave for Boca Grande the second week of May, and I'm down there through Father's Day. So our kingfish season in Tampa Bay kind of goes right before my Boca Grande starts and all that. But you know, like I said, that's the biggest key to it is catching bait and just being able to, of anything that you could go and spend money on, go buy a good cast net. Go buy a good cast net and learn how to catch bait. And I tell people too all the time, it's just like in Boca Grande. Don't come down to Boca Grande Pass and try to think you're gonna pull right in the middle of the pack and try to figure it. Sit back and watch. You know, it's the same thing. Go to the bridge, sit back. You're at the bridge, 7 o'clock, and you're about to see a stream of 15 guide boats coming in and out of there, and we're in and out of there in 15, 20. Watch how we do it, kind of thing. You know, it's like I see guys all the time, and they're either anchored on the wrong side of the bridge, they're throwing the wrong net, they're in the wrong area of the bridge. You know, sometimes it's, you know, it's not right. We're catching bait. I'm not really, I don't care if you pull up to the stall next to me kind of thing, and let's catch bait because I'm getting out of here. I'm not fishing here. I'm just here to catch bait. But that's really the key. The faster and earlier in your day that you can black out a live well and have the right bait to go do, if you're snook fishing, trout fishing, if anything you can take from these seminars, that's really the thing to it. Learn how to catch bait first. Once you can catch bait consistently, the rest is easy. It really is. It's when you don't have the right bait and you're trying to go back into spots, and now you landed on that monster school of redfish kind of deal at Tarpon Key or, you know, everywhere else, because there's 10 guides on it. We're all playing the circle game and power pulling down and sticking on it, you know, and catching fish. But unless you've got bait to keep those fish in front of you, they're going to move on. It's just like in Boca Grande. I tell people, it's like, you know, we spend $50 a dozen on crabs down there. Crabs are like our kids. They sleep with us. We bring them into our condos kind of thing. I mean, at any point in time during my tarpon season, I've got 200 crabs on me kind of thing. And like, I hate to say it, but I think you can honestly buy narcotics in Inglewood easier than you could buy crabs. Because during tarpon, it's who to call. You got to know a guy who knows a guy, and hey, I need 5 dozen kind of deal. All right, cool, I'll meet you at the 7. And it's like a black market, like underworld of selling blue crabs. Yeah, and we're using little tiny blue crabs that are like point to point, like that big. And we pay anywhere between like 30 and $50 a dozen, depending on what's going on. If the fish are eating, but it is what it is. I mean, I have to produce fish for my customers, and you know, I get people that come from all over the country and sometimes even out of the United States to come down to Boca Grande and fish with me. The other cool part about all that kingfish stuff is where those kingfish are, they're sharks, and there's a lot of really cool sharks, like big black tips, big spinner sharks. My first fish that I catch, usually on a charter, ends up becoming bait kind of deal, and I stick, you know, a tail section or a half a fillet or whatever of either a Spanish mackerel or a kingfish on a shark rod. And these are my Boca Grande or Tampa Bay beach tarpon rods or Skyway tarpon rods that during kingfish season I put a shark leader on them, and pretty much as soon as that first, like I said, that first Spanish mackerel that I get, he goes out the back of the boat and that rod just gets stuck in a rod holder. And it's pretty cool, like, you know, even grown men, you hand them a rod with a 6-foot spinner shark on it that weighs 120 pounds, and you're like, here you go, buddy, I don't want any part of that kind of thing. And it's just, it breaks up the monotony of catching kingfish. The one thing I will say when you do get into the kingfish stuff is you gotta have ice. That's one of the biggest things a lot of people don't forget about kingfishing is they start getting big, so you either need an insulated bag. Like, you know, in the professional world of kingfishing, we have the big, like, you know, insulated body bags kind of deal, I call them. And that's where our fish go in, and then he's iced down, and that's how he's kept, because we don't want him to dry out kind of thing, and then he loses weight. And sometimes our tournaments are lost or won by a pound or two. And but it is a way, if you're going to harvest the fish to eat it, smoke it, whatever, you got to keep them cold. And Spanish mackerel, kingfish, anything in that mackerel family, the minute he's in the boat, he needs to be on ice because they turn to mush. Everything just gets all messed up if he's not cold and kept cold. So that's the only thing about us when we run kingfish. I might run 10 bags of ice that day. You know, so our ice costs during kingfish season go up through the roof, but I have to keep the fish cold. One of the things that I've done, and I've seen a bunch of charter customers see it, and they're like, "That's pretty smart." If you go to Sam's Club, they have them in there. They're literally $6. They're insulated bags that they use for, like, women go grocery shopping. They put all their freezer cooler items in there and all that. They're awesome fish bags. kind of thing. They are everything on my boat. That's what I use for my charters. I don't put a fish in any cooler in my boat because I don't want fish and beer and slime and all that mixing together. So my fish either stay in my live well and stay alive until I'm ready to eat, ready to clean them or whatever, and then what? And I'm going to get off topic. I try to put so much stuff into the times that I have with you guys, and I apologize. But like if I'm keeping snook, I harvest very few snook of the year. I do believe we have a huge stunted growth population of snook in Tampa Bay. I can go catch 124-inch snook kind of deal to one good slot, big, true, fish kind of thing. And that's just because it's Tampa Bay. I mean, we've got so many people that fish it. As soon as that fish reaches legal size, that very first season he's gone. Kind of deal. And I don't know if people realize that, and a lot of guys that don't work with the scientists like we do and a lot of data and research, that legal snook kind of deal, for one, just turned into being a female because they're all born males and they turn into females as they grow and mature. And he's also a 7.5-year-old fish kind of deal. Is pretty much what the data has shown us, that those legal slot size fish kind of deal, it's 7 years for that little 22, 23-inch fish that we've got a billion of in Tampa Bay to get to that size. Kind of thing. And that's how a lot of people, and I see it just at boat ramps and cleaning tables and stuff, where you look at it, it's like that fish is just barely legal kind of deal. You don't even see most fish in the middle range of that. So they're all that right at slot. That's because, like I said, as soon as he reaches slot, they're like, yeah, we got it. Okay, cool, good for you. You got to keep her snook. I mean, cool. I mean, granted, they're awesome, but you can't say it because everybody's like, I want to keep my snook and I want to kill my. Okay, cool, but that's also why you also don't go out and catch 15, 30-inch snook in the course of a day. We have a very stunted growth population in here. Redfish, 27-inch redfish is a 3-year-old fish kind of deal. Look at that age-wise, to it. Same thing with a trout. You're looking at 1.5 to 2 years, and a trout's a 15-inch trout kind of deal. So snook they're like tarpon. They're very slow-growing, old fish kind of thing. And I just think snook are like the coolest fish in the world. So I would rather keep them as a sport fish and let him go and catch him again when he's a 42-inch snook kind of thing. And now you break that 40-inch club, and now you've done something cool. Now you've done something special in my mind. I don't think there's much difference between taste-wise between a redfish, a trout, that. So my personal is I let the snook go, and I keep redfish, and I keep trout, and I keep mackerel, and I keep grouper and snapper and all that kind of stuff for my clients. And I try to release as many snook as I can. Not going to tell you that, hey, if it's snook season and we catch legal fish, that's entirely your right. That's what it is. I have no problem with it whatsoever. But I enjoy catching them as a catch and release fish. The other stuff.